Hello and welcome to Chilling with These Guys. I'm Jack and I am joined by...
Oliver.
And, of course, me, Oscar. I'm sorry, you just caught me so off guard with that. I thought you were going to introduce us.
God, Oscar,
No.
you put professional
Can you not read... Oh, wait, yeah, that is what is in the script, actually.
God damn it, Jack. Right, just skip introductions and just move on to the...
Let's get on with it.
Today we'll be discussing two games with the main theme being time. Those being Life is Strange and Until Dawn. So, Life is Strange is basically a game where... Is it Square Enix that made it?
Yes.
Yes, I believe it is Square Enix that
Yeah,
made
I
it.
thought so. So it's made by Square Enix, and it's just about a girl who gets time travel powers.
Okay, Max, retrace every step. I washed my face. I shredded my photo. Then the butterfly flew in. And I took a photo.
Leave them out of this bitch!
I can tell everybody Nathan Prescott is a punk ass who begs like a little girl and talks to himself.
You don't know who the I am or who you're messing around with.
Where'd you get that? What are you doing? Come on, put that thing
Ever
down!
Tell me what to do.
Wowzer, it's happening again.
People trying to control me!
You are going to get in hella more trouble for this than drugs.
Nobody would ever even miss your punk ass, would they?
Get that gun away from me,
No,
psycho!
it's a gun! Holy shit, I can't let this happen. If I can reverse time again, I can help her.
Wow, that's a pretty basic way to put it.
That wasn't the whole thing.
Summarize.
I wasn't. It's a girl who
She
gets
gets some time travel powers.
She stops some girl from getting shot. She stops a tornado, or doesn't, depending on the ending.
Maybe I'm
Oh wait, should we put a spoiler alert on
Yeah,
on
I
the
was gonna
footage,
say.
just in case?
Yeah, just
I mean, yeah, geez, look, poor cameraman here is having to watch.
cameraman Stan.
Cameraman Stan.
So this is actually
Do
going.
you like your new promotion? You're now cameraman Adam to cameraman Stan.
Yeah, but we probably should put spoilers.
Fair enough.
I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah. So spoiler alert.
I'm a prostitute.
So
Even though you just said all that.
Yeah,
it's-
I'll just put it at the beginning in editing. It's fine. So basically, she either stops it or she doesn't, depending on your ending. It's a good game. So, what do you guys think of?
Right, thanks for watching this podcast.
Oh, dude, not so loud, not so loud.
Sorry.
It's just plain ear rape here.
Follow-
Right. So, what do you guys think?
Right, from what I've seen of Life is Strange, from when I first experienced it, I thought that the plot-wise, it was actually pretty original from what we've seen already. Because how do I explain this? Like, the concept of time travel, it's very twisted, it's very convoluted. There's so many
Yeah.
rules to it.
It's not
But
straight
Life
line
is
of cause and
Strange manages to take
Change
all that
that.
and says, you know what? Let's put it in a 3-hour game and just show how mentally messed up it is at the end of it.
Is that only 3 hours?
I don't know. I'm just rough estimating.
I swear it's like 5 hours.
It's quite like a long
Yeah,
game.
but
I would
I
say.
think the scene when you what's that girl's name? Katie, is it? You know, the one who goes on the roof.
Come to get another Pulitzer shot like yesterday, Max?
I only wanted proof that David was harassing you.
More like you wanted another shot for the Max Caulfield scrapbook. You want another now? Huh?
No! Please, Kate. You know me better than that. And I know you don't want to jump.
But I do. My life is already over.
Kate, your life is still yours. And we can get through this together. Let me help.
You are such a liar. You wanted to help by ignoring my phone call?
I was with Chloe, and she was having a serious problem too. I'm sorry.
Apparently her problem is worse than mine. So why even bother with me? I'm done anyway. No!
Oh,
And
yeah.
you have to try and
Yeah.
talk. Yeah, the only time you lose your powers and your choices actually matter.
I do have to say,
That is true.
when you have other games like The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, they're all good games.
Yeah.
However, a lot of the choices don't feel as weighted. You
I
know?
mean,
Life is Strange has that, and
Yeah.
also
and plus
it-
you have the ability to change that if you so
Yeah.
wanted to.
and also
Except
there's
Kate.
also the chance of finding the story. Literally, you can go and ask random people around the campus. Like, I think at the start, it's a pretty good example. Do you need some help, cameraman? But I think at the start, it's a pretty good example of where when you walk outside, you can go and talk to one of your other friends who's in the class who does really good photos and that, and you have to ask him like, oh, who did this photo and whatever. Of course, you would have to use your time travel.
Oh, yeah.
I think his name
To-
was Ethan, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it bad that I remember
Like
that?
cool
so-
hipster kid.
Yeah,
type
but
guy
they're all
with
hipster
glasses.
kids.
Oh yeah, if seeing as we're going on to this, the dialogue and the personalities of the characters, I don't know why, but
It's a
like
bit cheesy.
yeah, it's really
Yeah.
corny, especially
I-
for the time setting. It's supposed to be
I have-
like 2000s, early 2000s.
I have to say,
2011,
if I had to
yeah.
change one thing with the game, it's the dialogue.
Yeah,
Because the
'cause
dialogue
this-
sometimes I just felt like
Yeah, they were like they were speaking in the 1990s, even though the game's time was set in what 20 like
Yeah,
like
roughly.
2010,
I'll-
2011.
I'll be honest, I did like it. I thought it had a certain charm to it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did, but
Yeah.
like after a while, you just think, oh
Mm.
god, please stop.
But but the choices feel a lot more weighted, and it also, it's also more targeted towards us
Yeah,
as
sort of our
people.
age.
So we are more invested in the characters.
Yeah, we
because
can-
even though we're British, and we
Yeah,
don't
but we
necessarily
can-
have this sort of.
We can
And
relate to their
style.
situation,
And we're
because-
male.
yeah, of course.
But in terms of, we can connect with these characters to some extent.
Yeah.
And I would say I kind of like all the characters in their own different ways, you know. And when those choices do come up, it's like, oh, you're actually like really thinking about it. Like, I remember there was one bit where you're at the diner and your friend Katie calls you.
Oh, and then you have
And
to
you have to make
Oh,
a
you have to
choice.
make the choice either
You
to
have to make the
take
choice.
her call
Yeah.
or
Go
just
with Chloe.
ignore.
Okay, Supergirl, let's go to my secret place. Don't even answer. We have places to go and people to do. Come on, before Mom starts some more shit. Let's bail.
It's Kate Marsh from Blackwell.
Big whoop. You don't call me once in 5 years and now you're all over some biatch you see every day at school? I see how you roll. So go ahead, chat up Kate Marsh from Blackwell. I've got other people to hang out with too.
Ignore it.
Go
Yeah.
with Chloe, because Chloe says, oh, if you want to hang out with your other friends, then that's. But of course, you have to bear in mind at that point, she's not feeling great because of some video that's gone up on her, and then
You know,
if-
you know they write the link on the sync.
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
they
mirror?
did.
Yeah.
That was an actual link that you could follow.
Yeah.
I
If,
don't know what it led to because
if
it had been
it's
pulled down
if
by
it's
the time
okay,
I
can
found
I
it.
talk about the Chloe story arc throughout Life is Strange?
Yeah.
I thought the Chloe arc was actually pretty decent. The fact that you don't know it's her that gets spoiler alert, that gets shot at the start of the game.
I don't think it is a spoiler. Wasn't it shown in the trailers?
Well, like when you first play the game and you see
don't
someone
think
get
so.
shot, you wouldn't think it was Chloe, but then
yeah, true.
then like later in the game
fact
you
that
find
it
out
was
it's her.
Chloe, yeah.
Yeah, and then as you're playing through the rest of the game, you realize, like as you're saving her through these numerous like 3 or 4 times that she
Yeah.
nearly got killed, you're
It's
starting to
like-
notice how the world is starting to get messed up, and you kind of start to begin to connect the dots, as in, oh, okay,
she's
whenever-
destined to die.
yeah,
pretty much.
and I think this comes to a pretty, actually quite
Sad.
quite a sad, quite tragic choice that you have to make at the end. For those who,
It's very
is-
interesting to see, though, about the fact that originally, I don't know if it's changed. It probably has changed with the percentage-wise. But at the start, it was very 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
between
think it's
saving
now-
Chloe and then, or saving the town.
town.
yeah,
I did have that twist down on here actually to talk about.
okay, go ahead.
Just said talk about that twist.
Okay, but yeah, what would you have personally picked if you were put in that situation?
It's difficult because it's like that experiment with there's a train
Oh
coming.
yeah, the train
you have
track's
to-
coming. There's 4 people on one track and there's one guy on the other.
Yeah.
But you could only turn the switch to save one.
Yeah. Most people would pick sacrifice the one guy, but then there's another one where it's a bit cruel in a way and a bit weird, where instead you have to there's 5 people, or you push a fat guy onto the tracks.
Oh yeah, to stop the train.
Most people pick the 5 people because it's the fact that you're doing it, you're killing this person.
It's more along the lines of the needs of the many outweigh the needs
weeds.
of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Or the one.
That's the quote.
Good old Mr. Spock.
Yeah, that's the main interpretation for people who partake in these types of challenges. Like, the benefits outweigh the doubts.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you're using one life to save many.
But in this scenario, it's even more worse because you've been with his friend.
And plus you're the one that kind of caused this disaster. So
Saving her
either
in the
you
first
can
place.
live to see through its destruction or see its results, or you can actually do the right thing and put everything, right once and for all, which is of course what people were pretty sad about.
I like the fact that this is just going back into terms of the overall story. It's like very subtle things you can pick up on. Maybe on your second playthrough or whatever. But I noticed with the teacher, like, spoiler alert, he's actually been the one murdering. He did the...
No,
yes,
he didn't.
yes.
And
He
also
didn't
those
murder.
weird...
He abducted.
Yeah,
but
he
then
abducted
it
them
was
and then...
Nathan who accidentally overdosed Rachel.
Yeah.
At least that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. But it's interesting because at the very start in the class, when he's talking to everyone, he's only focusing on the girls.
I
The
could
boys
frame
are
any of
just-
you in a dark corner. Is that literally what he says?
Yeah.
I did think one of my only things about the game is it could have been a film.
Yeah,
over
it really
game.
could.
There is
But-
I feel like there's so little interaction with anything that is of importance that it could
Well,
have
it
been.
depends on your playstyle, really. 'Cause,
Yeah. Could have
been
like,
an
for people
interactive
like me,
film.
I'd rather just get on straight with the point. But for some people who actually take their time to learn about the other characters, their stories, I guess.
That's
The
probably
lore.
more like me. I would probably be one of the people that go around, talk to the different people around the campus,
Yeah.
and see what's there. Maybe in the dorm areas, and they have like the whiteboards.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that. I would
Pictures.
like to see the different pictures and the response. I think one of them was the red rum thing.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Shining.
Was the one on Max's door? Was that Cry? YouTuber?
No, I think no.
I think it was just some random stick guy.
Yeah, it was just a random stick person with the arrow pointing some saying "me" on it,
Yeah.
which is just her as
No,
because
it's-
she's that edgy.
The one that she
18-year-old.
draws, it looks like Cry. Back
It
at the start
does
of the
look a
game.
lot like Cry, but I don't think that's what
Yeah,
she's trying to
yeah.
resemble.
It's-
Are we allowed to reference Cry in here?
I mean,
Oh god.
Are we gonna be
We're
sued?
gonna get copyrighted.
hey, as long as it isn't going up on YouTube. By the way, follow the Hanging Out with These Guys podcast on
Chilling with these
YouTube.
guys, mate.
That's the one. Chilling with
This
These
is
Guys
going,
podcast.
This is going on my
YouTube.
channel. By the way, go to my private channel at Sean Toxic Toad.
Follow me, the editor. Technically Oscar. Just
Really?
a little bit of
Really? The editor? Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, just gonna tag everyone.
So what about
Follow the camera guy. Oh wait, what was it?
Cameraman
is-
Steve.
that's
Cameraman Stan. That's it.
Cameraman Stan.
So in
Pretty
terms of
funny.
controls, it's again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
simple,
Moving on to
pointing-
controls.
It's pretty much
Very
a point-and-click
quickly.
adventure, to be fair.
But 3D.
Yeah.
And there's no mouse.
If you have to, I have to say, in terms of like games like that, it has come a long way, and I think Life is Strange has done that in the right way.
Yeah.
If you,
I mean,
get
to
what
be
I
fair,
mean.
the type of game that Life is Strange was obviously popularized by the people who made Telltale, who
Yeah.
made Walking Dead,
Famous
which is their masterpiece, obviously.
I think for a
Yeah.
first try of that sort of game, Square Enix
yeah,
did
they
amazing.
didn't.
I
yeah.
think they did a good job. Maybe as the choices felt more weighted.
Yeah.
And there was a moment when there was a 50-50 choice. Was like, oh god. which
Yeah,
one
because
do I
Square
pick?
Enix, I believe, can make pretty decent
Versus,
stories if they actually had the time and
something
effort.
out like the
Sorry.
Walking Dead with like a. I remember it's like I think it's like round season 1 where they're like stuck in like a shop or something, and you
Yes,
have to pick between
Doug
this
or
girl.
Carly.
or this,
Doug and Carly. But
Oh,
then
yeah.
it doesn't matter because the one, spoilers again, dies anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like
but you're gonna.
I remember
but
reading,
most likely you're gonna probably pick her, aren't
yeah,
you?
because
Out
I
of-
remember reading like there was like an 80-20 for picking the girl because she was
Yeah.
actually you know, she
She
knew
ended
how
up
to defend.
surviving
Yeah.
more longer.
And she knew what she was doing.
They both survived the same amount of time. They died the exact
Did
same
they?
way.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought she survived the longest. and
Yes,
then he
because she
dies.
could actually defend herself.
No, they both die on the
Yeah.
road.
That is
But
true.
you probably more.
They both get killed by I think it was Carly.
I'm not
Carla, I
quite-
think.
I can't. I'm not.
Either
that
way,
sure.
it was that one evil bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
anyways, we're sidetracking a bit. Coming back
Yeah,
onto the
massively
main
so.
topic at hand. So overall,
I would say Life is Strange is a very good game, and I hope that in the future, when you're making some games like this,
Oh yeah.
point and click, that you could do something like this.
Oh yeah. I've
Like-
you know there's a sequel coming out for Life is Strange, right? An actual
Yeah,
sequel.
the
No,
Before
it's
the
an
Storm.
actual sequel.
Oh
it's
no,
an actual
that's a
sequel.
prequel. We're talking about an actual sequel.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
making an actual sequel. It's been
Although, I
confirmed.
don't know if it's Max and Chloe. They've said they don't know if it's going to be.
Yeah, but at least we know it's
Mm.
confirmed, to say the least.
but
So
Before the Storm was a pretty good one. I think
Yes.
they made the, as we stated before with the dialogue and that, I think they made better on that
Yeah.
in the next one.
But
Yeah.
like, if you think about, comparing it to other Telltale games, it's pretty much just a carbon copy, but with just better looking graphics.
Yeah.
And choices. The choices
Yeah.
sometimes meant
I
more.
like the aesthetics, like
The way it
almost like
looks.
you can tell the image, like when you like look at like a photo, for example,
Yeah.
you can tell what the image is, even though it looks like it's like a water painting.
Yeah, yeah.
I really love that.
Yeah, the game, I love the story.
Yeah,
Like-
story's really good. It's original, which
Exact-
is what most games seem to be lacking during that time.
And the
even
characters
even a
feel
lot of TV shows and
human.
films lack in that, even
Yeah.
today.
Yeah,
We seem to be plummeting down into lots of reused
yeah, and
season
sequel-
storylines.
and sequel
Yeah.
booting. That's pretty popular nowadays.
sequel storylines. Walking Dead.
We don't talk about that. Anyway,
Anyways, this the other game that we were going
Until
to discuss.
Dawn.
Is it okay if I start with
Yeah,
this one?
go ahead.
go ahead.
I think that Until Dawn is brilliant in the sense that like take Friday the 13th for example. It's got like the story or like the plot of a TV American horror film and actually brought it into a game, and it works really well. And the fact that like as we said for Life is Strange, the choices are actually impactful and they actually have consequences. And mind a spoiler, but you can actually kill everyone
Yeah.
before the game officially ends. That's your choice. If you're
I
a
love it.
sadistic prick, but
Oscar.
I think it's brilliant.
I
I think
do.
the plot, I think the way they presented it was absolutely brilliant.
Even the graphics.
Yeah,
Everything about
it
that
looks-
game was great.
Yeah,
graphics look really good. Me personally, I wasn't over the moon about it. Like when I was watching it, I mean, I enjoyed it for a certain extent, but I was like, eh. But I have to say, I would like to say it's also very cliche with other horror movies.
That is true.
yeah,
Like-
that's
Like one of the funny things I picked up on was like it's near the end of the game and it's the guy called Mike who
Yeah,
ends
Mike.
up being in that asylum type place.
Oh, Mike. Yeah.
And he finds
finger.
a double barrel shotgun, and during that sequence he seems to not run out of ammo. And when you look at other horror movies,
yeah,
it's like
that's
Mm.
yeah, that
Herschel's
was
Infinite
that's an
Shotgun.
intention.
Going back to
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
more intentional point of it because they said that it was inspired off of American-style horror movies, and that was one of the. That's what I think
Yeah.
makes it really good because they kind of taken that style and made it work in a video
Mm.
game.
Another cliche thing is one character. I can't remember his name, but he's the one with the flamethrower and the machete. If you remember him.
Oh yeah, he
The
was
one-
the hunter, I believe.
He
Yes.
stands outside holding the machete, looking creepy, and
Yeah.
then he just follows them. He doesn't try and talk to.
Yeah, like in
Yeah.
Friday
Emily.
13th.
Emily
it's
and Beth.
almost like they used him as a red herring.
Yeah.
Oh
But-
yeah, actually,
As he
since
fo-
we're talking about that prologue bit you just said, cameraman Stan, do you want to do that rundown of the story, like
before that went so well.
like just
Yeah, I guess
just
so.
give a
So
rundown.
the story begins with, I think it's just like a house party. They're like on
Yeah, yeah.
holiday.
Like a reunion.
Yeah, but
Bear in mind the events of the past where the two sisters.
No, that's what I'm talking about at the moment.
Oh, my
bad. It's alright. What were their names? Beth and
I think so.
What?
Beth and Hannah.
Beth and Hannah.
Yeah.
Yes, but then I think everyone ends up playing
Jeez, cameraman
prank
Stan.
on prank on Hannah, and Hannah runs out into the snow like a complete moron, and then she ends up just keeps running. Then her sister chases after her, and they end up falling off a mountain or a cliff or something.
But there's also that hunter guy that's there
Yeah.
who.
The hunter guy that I referenced earlier is following them, He doesn't try and speak to them.
Yeah.
Or go, hey, listen, I'm human. I'm all right. I'm not.
I'm not here to murder you.
Yeah.
As he holds up his machete in a swinging like arc.
I have to say, it was definitely, I would say for the opening, it was definitely confusing with the whole POV shots where it's all red and that.
Yeah.
I think it's the monster. But of course, we haven't been revealed yet of the monster.
The Wendigo.
Yeah. But it's the hunter that's always sort of there. And
Yeah.
that made me sort of confused. That's the
I
other
think-
thing I wasn't.
I
think
think
that
it was
might
supposed
have,
to be a red herring.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I
Yeah.
think
The
that's
hunter is
supposed
a
to be the whole
red
appeal. It's
herring.
trying to lure you into a false sense of security, so that
Knowing-
it actually hides the real
knowing
monster
what's
away.
after you. Because it's the fear of the unknown that is so much worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta say, as you guys said, I love the fact that you can. Well, I don't love the fact, but it's a really interesting detail that you can kill off everyone,
Yeah.
and there's
Or
you
There's
can't
this
go back and
one
stop them.
girl in the game, Emily, I think it was, the Asian woman. Yeah, she, like, loads of people give her, like, I think she, out of all the other characters, had the most opportunities to be killed. Like, there was a scene
Yeah.
where Mike gets the pistol and... Is it
Yeah,
Mike?
that was a dumb
Or Josh. I
scene.
think it was Josh.
Where
No,
they're
I don't
like-
think it was Josh. Josh was
No,
the
Josh
crazy
was
one.
No,
the
it was
brother of the two
Mike.
girls. Yeah, it was Mike who had the
Yeah.
pistol, and you had the option to shoot her because she was
Yeah.
so skeptical. Like, because she had, like, a bite or a scratch from one of the Wendigos.
Mike, calm down. You're gonna shoot me? Mike, me?
This is the safe room, Em.
Please,
It is not safe as long as you're in it. Not for us.
don't do this!
I'm really sorry.
And that was before you learned that you couldn't get their curse from
No,
being
you had
bitten
to
or scratched.
eat.
Yeah, you
each
have
other.
to turn a cannibal to in order
So
to become one.
shooting
Which is
her
really
would've been-
dark. 'Cause that
Yeah,
means.
and plus there was
Hannah-
also the scene with like the bridge where she was falling off and you could save her.
Can I say, I do have to say, with the different era, all the characters, by the way, I do have to say, the one bit
So that
I
was the
was
characters.
really confused, and since this, you guys seem to have pretty much seen a majority of this,
Yeah.
is was with the football type player guy with the Leatherman jacket.
Oh yeah.
That
I was like,
is-
how on earth would you have survived that bit? Because where he gets like hooked.
Yeah. I was so confused.
Because I was like, what do you do? Because it seemed like no matter what, you ended up on that bit. And as you said before, everyone could
Did you
survive.
find out his name?
I think the guy with the Letterman jacket.
Yeah.
I think his name was Josh.
Yeah.
No,
Josh was the brother. We've been
Um,
over this.
no, it's not Sam. I didn't get to see the picture or the name properly. So
He was. I remember he was black.
yeah.
So if you're not-
That's your defining
No,
feature
Sam was
character.
the girl. She
Sam-
was the one in the tower. Remember?
she was the fit
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, she was the one that everyone wanted to derobe.
With a mic.
Or not.
No, Mike was the guy with the pistol.
Yeah, Mike was the stereotypical white
Yeah.
guy jock sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
Emily was
just
the one everyone
prankster.
wanted to kill.
But
I was so happy when I killed
I
her
like.
off.
I have
Yeah.
to say, I like to say, you end up. I thought Josh was a bit of an asshole. I wouldn't like him, but later on, you like go. You know what? Kind of do like him. It
Are you-
reminds me a lot of the Evil Dead movie where you have Ash. Like his character is an absolute
Ash.
idiot.
Matt. That's his name.
Matt,
Yeah.
yes.
Where his character is an absolute idiot.
Letterman
You
Matt.
wouldn't assume he would be the final guy to live, yet he pulls through it. And funny enough,
and then
his
you,
chosen weapon of choice is a sawn-off shotgun, I think.
you see what he becomes in the next
Yeah.
ones.
Speaking of making stupid choices because of preordained fate, let's talk about the butterfly effect, shall we?
Yes, the main part. Did
Yeah,
you
the main, I guess the main
focus.
the main focus of the game is the butterfly effect. Is regarding these little totems you can find in the game, and they all have a different color, symbolizing a fate.
Like
Black,
death.
Yeah, black
Yeah.
is death. Yellow is something I can't.
You get
remember
like
them all.
past.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like death.
And I think
that was really good.
it was okay.
Yeah,
like,
it was alright, but
I think they
didn't-
could have pulled it off much better.
Yeah,
I
I didn't
like-
find them as useful, I would say, because it
No.
was like,
They only showed you the actual death. They didn't show you
Yeah.
anything that led up to the death.
Yeah,
so you could
like-
prevent it.
so
Yeah,
you were
they-
like very clueless about it, except from maybe some
I did
expectations.
like the fact that if you collected all the totems, it reveals like all the backstory.
Yeah.
Because like you can pick up pieces and understand the backstory easy enough, but if you want the full backstory, you can collect them all.
Yeah.
And
But
get
well,
from
I
there.
feel like they could have probably focused more on the totems, like how they could actually help you like escape that particular
Yeah.
fate. I think that they had the right idea, but
They just-
execution-wise, it wasn't that good.
But I think for a first attempt at that sort,
Yeah.
I think it's a first attempt. I don't know any other games that have tried something.
Yeah, like for a first like modern day attempt at a American horror film styled game,
It was-
a pretty decent job, but they
I
could have
think
done better.
there's been probably some type games, but not in the sense of like it's a choice type thing. But in terms of like controls and that, I feel like this is more in depth in terms of Life is Strange because there's some bits. I
Yeah.
really like this feature where you have to hold the controller
Completely
Oh
still.
yeah,
as it vibrates because the Wendigo or whatever is near you.
fact that-
you have to keep it still and not get out of that white ring.
A lot of it was QTEs though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind QTEs, just
it's
don't
like in
make them the
COD
whole
World
game.
War II. Like there were some bits where you could have just had it as a cutscene. We didn't need an unnecessary QTE bit because it just disrupts
Yeah.
the flow of the game.
I do have to say it does it in the right way because with some QTAs, it's like you press the button and that's it. With this,
It's
say if
actually
you, like,
interactive.
when who's the guy with the glasses
Um,
who went out with the hunter to go and find Josh or whatever,
Cameraman
and then
Stan,
they
you've got
run
characters
back.
on your phone.
Dan, my man. I could just use my laptop.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
you
probably-
could, but
yeah,
that
you probably
would-
could use your
Probably
laptop.
could, but like, I can't. be
But
fucked.
seeing all the stickers that you have on it and how much they just
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should probably blur that
Michael.
out. We can blur that out in post, just like.
okay,
The main guy who loses his finger.
No,
that's Mike.
It's the guy with the glasses who has like the blue coat.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah,
Chris,
Chris.
that's the one.
I liked Chris. Chris was one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
but during that sequence, I mean, there's more sequence like it where
Yeah.
you have to make a choice between shooting maybe something that's like fire or hitting the Wendigo with the shotgun. But with that, you have to actually move your joystick over the right bit. And
Oh,
bear in
yeah.
mind, they're like the size of that,
yeah.
like that. It's really hard to get it, and sometimes you can easily mess it up.
And that's
Yeah.
And
dying.
along with all
Yeah.
the tension of as it slowly comes towards you as it
Like
leaps.
stereotypical. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I thought the mystery of what had happened there was probably the most intriguing thing about the game.
Yeah, I have
Like-
to say it was a little bit. I have to say with the all the kind of different places was a little bit weird. Like, oh, there's a mine as well, and also a mental asylum.
Well, why would
Because,
you not?
you know.
Also, it's on top of an Indian burial site.
Which is also where the foundations of the hell are formed.
Actually, if you really think about it, it does scream a lot about The Shining because
It also-
because the hotel
Oh,
was
yeah,
built
the
on
cap-
an Indian burial ground.
I don't know if that was actually a part of it. I think I was just being sarcastic, but okay.
No, no, in The Shining.
Yeah,
like,
no, I know in The Shining.
yeah.
I don't know if this was actually this.
Yeah,
Well,
I
like-
mean, as I said, of course, it's not going to have that
Like-
exact same story,
Yeah.
but it's going to take references.
yeah, like
from
the
that.
setting of Until Dawn is pretty similar to The Shining. There's a lone cabin in the middle of the mountains.
That's
that,
snowing, and you.
Yeah,
And like all hell breaks loose just
Yeah.
because people are staying there when they really shouldn't.
What do we think about the monsters?
I
love
thought it
them.
was quite. Sorry, go on.
I love them. I love the design. I love the backstory. I love everything about them.
Yeah, I liked the reveal where you found out it was actually Hannah and Beth.
I think it was
who
just
were
Hannah
there.
because Hannah ate Beth, didn't
Yeah, you would. It would
That's
be
how-
Yeah, but
Oh.
there's two Wendigo, so
she?
maybe
there was more before.
Bearing in
her,
mind, there were some Wendigos that lived in the mental asylum.
but they got let out.
Yeah,
I think there was like a separate.
it was a mixture. Bear in mind, they don't like each other. That was very clear in the final scene in the house.
Oh, yeah.
where you had literally the Beth one go and get the other one and then break its neck.
I think there was like a separate game release, a VR one, where
Yeah.
it was backstory over how they escaped the asylum.
okay.
Because I think
there was a almost a circus type one.
yes,
I
I,
remember
don't
that.
know if
I
that
wasn't
was
too
actually-
overly keen on that.
I don't know if that was actually part of like the story, but I think this one with the asylum was actually part of the story. Just how they escaped the asylum and managed to run amok.
So what about the other, well, quote unquote monster, who's very much like the Saw type character that makes up these elaborate
Oh,
traps?
Josh,
Yes,
where he's
Josh.
making
I've kind of felt sorry for Josh
Yeah.
because he's been through a lot, and the medication that he's been getting has not been helping him.
at all.
at all. It's just
I think it was torture porn that he was trying to make.
no. He wanted to be a YouTube sensation, I believe,
No,
an
but
internet
I think
sensation.
that's what they said. They said it was torture porn.
I mean, he makes
Yeah,
jokes
that's what
like
he referred
that.
to it as, but his main deal, he wanted to get a lot of hits on social media,
Yeah,
so he set
yeah.
up a Saw-like environment for them to be in.
I guess.
where he fakes his own death.
But
Which was very clever.
Because he wanted to prove that they didn't care about him.
I mean,
That's why.
it's interesting to see when you pick the girl instead, with the saw trap, and then him go, "Oh wait, you do care about me."
Yeah, like he just takes his head off the fake body and he's like, "Oh no, what have I done?"
I've murdered this person. But
Cool. I saved her. I killed Josh.
Yeah, but that's the
Yeah,
point. That's
I
the
think
point
a
that he
lot of people
wanted
did
to
that.
demonstrate was the fact that no one really cared about him ever since his sisters were
but it
killed.
was such a difficult decision.
Well,
Well, I think a lot
Like-
of people were fairly straightforward in picking him over her.
I picked her over him.
Yeah.
I saved her because, well, I wanted to play the story as I felt it was because I knew Chris was into her, wasn't he? So
I think so. Yeah.
I think he'd
yeah, it
choose
was like
her.
a whole romance type thing going on with that.
Yeah,
And-
look how well it turned out.
Well, I mean, I
If you
think
ignored her, she would like lock the door.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like no, it was
She locked the
no, it
door
was
because-
during like the scene where they were at the table and there was the gun in the middle of the
Yeah.
table and you had to choose to either shoot yourself or shoot her.
Yeah.
And if you aimed the gun at her once, then she would lock you outside for the Wendigo to
then
eat
you'd
you.
die.
Yeah.
which is such a dick move.
Yeah, it's like he was put in a tough situation and you're gonna punish him for it.
And the gun fired a blank.
Yeah, and
wasn't
the
it?
guns had blank rounds.
Are there not 3 options? Weren't there?
No,
I
there
think-
was 2.
I think you could have shot the machine.
Yeah,
It was
there
yourself, her, or the machine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was
Yeah.
only just
I think
her
there was
or-
like other little options you could do, but ultimately it didn't succeed to
No.
really.
Yeah,
you
'cause
just
they were
shot it and it
blanks.
didn't work.
Yeah. So you ended up really having to pick that choice.
I picked myself in that one.
Like, but like, here's the thing though. Like, you put the gun to yourself, and she's like, "No, pick me," and then when you do, she kills you. So there's no
Kind of
point.
deserved, you know.
Yeah, there's no there's no point in saying, "Oh, please pick me," if she's gonna end up killing you.
Yeah, I guess that's right. What about the whole like collecting like pieces of the story and like newspapers? Not like the. I don't think it was the totems. I think there was like newspaper clippings that you could use like the
Yeah.
swipe pad on the controller to look
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like with the different. I think that's always been a part of some video games, just to provide some extra little
Yeah.
story. Like The Last of Us is a good example of that. where
Like
you
the collection.
find,
Except The Last of Us is actually a masterpiece.
yeah.
at. But I mean the emphasis on using the
Yeah.
controller itself, not
Yeah,
like just
I
buttons.
think that's it's not. I don't think it's used enough in
No.
most games. I think
Yeah.
they could utilize the controllers in a much more way, like the Nintendo Switch. Like I don't want to sidetrack too much,
and demonetized.
but like regarding the Nintendo Switch, they actually managed to have a fun way of utilizing the controls to make them quintessential to the game's functions.
Yeah.
Because it actually makes you feel like you're part of the game, which I think is a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
And I think more games could do something like that.
I think it was just a really fun game the whole way through,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even when it did drag a bit with.
And,
And it
also-
made you want to kill Emily.
And it also had good replay value with the whole fact of, oh, I'm going to try and save everyone this time.
And this
or
time I'm
gonna
gonna
have-
kill everyone.
I'm
or
just
have
gonna
one
kill Emily
survive.
every time.
Or have one person. to
Irregardless,
survive.
Emily is going to die.
I like the post credits. That's another good thing I like.
Oh,
when they
Oh
have
yeah, the scene where
Remind me.
like some guy.
interviews with all the
Oh,
different
yes,
people.
and then-
Oh, and then the secret ending, I think, where you find Josh in the mines, or officers find
Yes.
Josh in the mines, and
Yeah.
he's becoming a Wendigo.
Yes. Or
That kind of sent chills down my spine when I saw that, because I
God,
thought, oh no, he became the very thing his sister died for.
I have to say, it's a bit weird to think, oh, I'm just going to do cannibalism now.
Well,
You know? I would probably be like, I'm not going to set into that yet. I would probably find a
well, he
way
didn't
out.
know, did he? He didn't know that was the way it was gonna go.
yeah, for him it was just survival instinct.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily resort to that straight away. I would probably
Well,
be...
we don't know how. he
Well,
was
yeah,
actually
we
done.
don't know how long he was down there
Yeah.
for.
Fair
He could have been
enough.
down there for like months.
Yeah.
Although he did seem still pretty well like.
Yeah,
built,
and
like,
he was
his
like
normal self.
eating
Yeah.
currently, was he? When they
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
shine on
eating when
him?
they were fighting.
So
So, like, it may have been like a couple weeks, maybe, but
Bear
still,
in
it showed that
mind-
he was probably down there for a little while because his
Yeah.
clothes were pretty dirty.
bear in
That's
mind
true.
he was going insane with the whole, you know.
The like
that weird sequence where Beth
Yeah.
and they're all like bloody and that.
Yeah, and speaking of hallucinations, like the therapist sections that you do,
Oh,
I thought they were actually
They were
pretty
just
intriguing.
like they were just didn't feel right. They didn't sit.
I thought they
Or
could have
especially
come
when
in-
he just goes slams on the table. He's like, "Oh, I just want to see if you're paying attention." It's like,
No, I was falling asleep. Your game's that boring, mate. I thought they could have used that a bit more. I don't know if they did, but like they had to
used
pick
it like
the fears,
a
didn't they?
like 4 or 5 times throughout
Yeah.
You know,
the
they
different
had-
chapters, and that was to explain that basically who you are is actually Josh, and how his mental therapist is saying, "Hey,
I'm not real.
yeah, by the way, I'm not real. Your self therapy lessons suck. You're not gonna get those hits. You're a psychopath. Just let go of your sister's death."
You know how throughout the game, whilst you do those like little therapist bits, they had you pick your fears.
Yeah.
Did they come back?
no,
Did
I
they
don't
actually use
think
those?
No,
so.
it was.
I
Well,
feel
that's
like they should
that's one of the thing. They for those particular they should have used Chekhov's gun, which is in media terms. Say I put a gun on the table in one scene, and throughout the rest of the
has to be
film,
used
I
again.
have to have picked it up later. Otherwise, there's no point in putting it there.
It has to have been used at a
Yeah,
certain time.
if I'm doing something, that has to be of
Because
relevant
if we're
importance later.
focusing on it, that means it has to be used.
Yeah,
I think
similar-
it is if there is a gun in the scene, that gun has
Yeah,
to
that
have been
gun ha-
fired by the third act.
Yeah,
I
otherwise
think.
there's no point in hanging it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Say there was a struggle, then the character grabs the gun because we're like, oh, there's the gun on the table. He's gonna grab it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just.
So
a waste.
otherwise, say if Oliver, you picked up the headphones.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, everyone will think, okay, he's going to put the headphones on. And then you
Yeah.
just held those headphones for the rest of the
Yeah.
podcast or the film. It'd be like, why'd you pick them up if you're not even going to wear them?
Yeah.
Cameraman stands.
Cameraman stands down. Grab
Somebody help cameraman Stan.
someone get medic
He
Mike.
got his medic Mike. Mike died. I blew him up in the house.
Jesus Christ.
It got a little out of hand, guys.
Good ending though, that where the house
Blows
goes
up.
and then you see the Wendigo spirits go up. in the
Yeah,
air.
it's like. Oh,
And then you
finally.
get the interviews and everyone's like,
You have some people who are like, "Where's this person?" Because you could increase like their relationships with each other.
yeah.
Yeah,
Can't you? You
there's
can have
also-
like Emily go, "Where's my?"
Yeah, because it has like a stat thing on their
Yeah.
pages and all that.
Yeah.
Which I think I
I
found.
don't think the stats have been utilized like to their full
Yeah.
potential because they don't really change that much, and even if they do change, it doesn't feel like there was any
The only-
significance to their change.
The only
feel like-
really important one was between like the different characters, like relationship wise.
I think Chris and Ashley's could have been used the best.
Yeah.
You know when, as we said earlier, where she closes the door and locks it.
Yeah.
That could have been only if your relationship was like crappy enough.
Yeah, that's
So
like
it's
only
not
if
just
you've
depend-
tarnished it enough.
It's
Yeah.
not depending just on if you've held the gun to her.
yeah.
Like that diminishes it dramatically.
It would make sense. Let's swap the roles around. Let's say it was Chris and the girl who got bit.
Emily.
That would make sense. Like you tried to shoot me or whatever. I would say that would make sense versus that one because that was like.
Yeah, I see what you mean, because,
I need to take these glasses off.
okay, you do that.
Because you could blow our brains out, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's really hurt my eyes.
Because it was a real gun, and the
Yeah.
way that situation was presented would make sense for that character to go, no, I'm just going to lock the
And she
door
just
on you.
bitch slaps
Oh,
you
and,
if you don't hit her.
Speaking of choices, like,
Yeah.
there's a fact that, like in Telltale, there is like a pressable option to not make a choice, but in the
Yeah.
game, you actually have to physically not do anything to not make that choice.
Yeah, like that, as I said before,
which I
with
think
the
is a pretty
controller.
unique mechanic.
And because if you don't, then, well, you're probably going to die.
Yeah.
90%
Well,
of
it
the
depends
time.
on the situation, really. Because, like, again, with the scene with Emily, and you had the choice to shoot her, you could just literally just go, and then that's it, and you just wait out the timer.
What actually happens if you do that?
What if you
It
shoot
just
her?
goes
If you don't.
blank and it just
If you don't,
Joshua
then
comes out
she
and
survives that bit or deal or whatever.
I guess.
the thoughts just stop.
It doesn't
Josh
come
comes
to,
out and
you
says,
know,
"La, la, la."
Any
It
fruition.
was like, yeah,
You can actually find out that Josh is the killer, like, when you're playing as
Yeah.
Sam. Like, because there's a video recording of when he's trying the different voices. And then in Sam's head, she's like, oh, that's messed up.
yeah.
Yeah, she puts it together in her head.
Could you imagine that? Just finding a recording of your friends doing like demonic voices.
Yeah, it's like, hello, friends. That's a bit too
whoa.
throaty.
I feel like that's something we'd find on Oscar's phone.
Yeah. Knowing him. Anyway.
Don't bring up the cheeky choke.
Anyway, final thoughts.
Both are good games. They had good intentions. One of them was too cheesy. The other was perfectly cheesy.
Yeah.
And they used time quite well, especially with the first
I think time
one.
was perfectly used in both.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, do you remember in Life is
Seeing the
Strange
past
where
and the
you go
future.
back in time and you save Chloe's dad?
Yeah.
Oh
When you
yeah,
go
and then
back-
like it alters the literal timeline where
She- no, it's not.
got hit by the car.
In a wheelchair, doesn't she?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, because she got hit by the car instead of her dad.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Well, she's not that. She's just disabled. Bless her.
Yeah, and then you had the choice to put her IV to 11 and kill her.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was dark.
Yeah.
Like,
I was close
I have
to
to
tears.
say, Life is Strange handles a lot of dark things,
Okay.
and that's a good
I
example.
don't know if we actually
but-
said it, but if you don't know, Kate ends up on top of a building.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we've already discussed this.
yeah, I
earlier
don't
when
know if we
said-
actually said what happens.
Oh yeah,
I think we
do you want me
discussed it
to?
very
Do you want me to go through it?
I got it.
You
Basically, if you don't persuade her perfectly, she jumps off the
Yeah,
building.
but if you
'Cause-
do manage to convince her, then she goes to a therapist, I believe, or like a mental institution
Can
for
you
therapy.
rewind time for that? Or is
No,
that
your
staying
powers are
aside?
gone for
Yeah.
that bit.
You
You
can-
had to make the right call.
I think she rewinds it at first because I think she sees her jump at first, then she rewinds.
Yeah, and then
But she
like then
can't
time
keep-
stops,
so
so,
she has
she
to
has to
keep
hold it
pausing
there until she gets to the building, and then time
Yeah.
resumes,
But
and you
that's
cannot use your powers.
Gonna hurt.
Yeah. So either way, it's
Which
so it doesn't abuse that power in that game, but it just makes it so that it's there, but
it gives it set limitations
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
can't go back too far. Because that would be a lot of stress on the body. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
But I want to ask.
I think it like perfectly resembles that when you like do it like all the way to the max. It almost looks like a Polaroid that's being lit
Yeah,
on
because it's
fire.
showing how your
Yeah.
mind is literally deteriorating from
Like,
how much you're using
my
it.
brain.
What did you guys pick at the end?
Well,
Chloe and
I
the sound.
didn't get the chance to play
If
the game,
I would
but
personally pick
Mm.
saving more people, I would say, but that depends. That
I
really
picked
does.
Chloe.
As I said, I'm very.
I knew you'd pick to save Chloe.
What?
I picked to save the world or whatever.
I
Yeah.
picked
I-
Chloe.
Save the world from the town-sized tornado.
I would say
But it was
I'm very.
bigger than the town. That's why it demolished it so quickly.
Yeah.
I would say I'm very on the fence about it.
Some people. Are
I would
fed-
have to choose saving the town because, again, like,
I just feel like
Chloe
terrible
is the
person now.
reason that all this stuff is happening, and you're the reason that Chloe's alive and that this stuff is happening. So,
What did you guys think of the Rachel reveal? Finding out she was actually dead.
I always assumed she was dead.
yeah, same. I pretty much.
I thought she'd just gone. I thought she'd just up and left.
because I thought, bear in mind, we don't. It's like we have to slowly get the pieces up first, and I thought initially, yeah, I don't think she's alive, because. But if you were going on, let's say you started in like the middle of the game, and Chloe's talking a little bit more about her friend that went missing and whatever, then you probably could assume that she could have just up and left.
Yeah.
But like the way the game talked about Rachel's disappearance and how sudden it was, just makes you think, yeah, she's probably dead.
I still don't expect to find her like that.
Yeah.
Just buried. And then
Yeah,
my-
obviously the fact that she was buried was kind of like mysterious.
the
but
fact that it all happened so quickly. She's there dead. Chloe has a breakdown. Mr. Jefferson shoots her and then drugs you.
yeah.
That just happened so quickly. I was.
Question: how did Chloe survive being shot?
She didn't.
Didn't she?
No, she
No,
dies.
There was a whole like thing where she's, Max is stuck in Mr. Jefferson's like
Yeah,
dungeon thing,
yeah.
and she like goes
Very
back in
weird
time.
and surreal. I like that sequence.
She goes
in a-
back in time
in an
and
odd way.
uses. Actually, she might have survived the bullet because I know that Max goes.
It did seem like a gut shot, but even still, it
I
was
think-
a pretty
Does
hefty
she
old
tell
gun.
the stepdad? Is that what Max says? 'Cause
No.
I know she gets like a phone and lets the stepdad know that that's what Mr. Jefferson was doing.
Hmm.
But
It's
did
like-
she tell him about where Chloe was, or did Chloe just not get shot, or what?
I don't know. I think that was
Yeah.
one of the more confusing parts.
I love the fact that we've just casually gone back to Life is Strange.
Yep.
Just-
Yeah.
well,
I
like,
think if I had to pick between, you know, that old question of like if If you were on a desert island, which game you would have? If it was between these two, I would say I would probably pick Life is Strange because it's more of a interesting story. I would say.
Yeah, you can do so much more on it.
Yeah.
Like, well, not like so much more, but you
Yeah.
can like talk to so many other people.
There's like different things you can explore, and ultimately, it just looks really pretty.
I do remember one thing. Like, I saw this on YouTube a little while ago, but in one of the days when she wakes up in her room, Max, she looks out the window, and you can see the guy that's into her.
Yeah.
You can see him peeking around the corner, looking at her window, and then he just
It's just
ducks
like
back.
subtle things
just
like
like-
that.
Oh, and then at the
somebody's-
end when you can choose to either hug him or kiss him or leave him.
Which would you do?
Well, I kind of like. I would. It. I
Does anyone
don't.
remember his name?
I don't.
No, I don't know. But I think I would have just gotten Max with her and then destroyed the town.
keep talking for a minute. I need to figure out what this is.
Do you like meet him at the very end?
No.
Before the town destroys.
Yeah,
him?
you help him
Yeah.
out,
Oh.
and then you get the choice to either hug
Yeah.
him, something or else, something,
or
kiss
ignore
him,
him.
or
Yeah.
ignore him. I would have chose kiss him, and then because I'm sadistic, I would destroy the town.
Oh, I need to.
Yeah,
Give me a minute, guys. I
But
just
still,
need to-
I'm gonna get.
Speaking of saving people,
Actually, I have a.
there's
phone.
like this
What am I
one
doing?
girl throughout the entire game who keeps getting bullied, but like if you keep helping her specifically, like you get an achievement for it.
Yeah, I do. I know that. When she like gets hit by a football and all sorts.
Yeah,
she's
that
like,
one.
Move here.
Yeah,
I
it's just
think her
like,
name was
hey,
Alyssa.
can you move to the left?
like with the toilet roll thing.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that that the game rewards you for.
Yeah,
which
I
is
think that's pretty nice.
And also, it also rewards yourself because you're like, oh, you know what? I did something good.
I'm a good
I used
person.
my powers for the right thing. Or
This is
whatever.
how Oscar knows he's not such a terrible person.
Yeah.
It's just like I did help her.
Unless we're talking about the sacrificing the town.
Hey,
I sacrificed the town. He didn't. Remember. Keep talking.
I mean, it's perfectly fine. As I said, it
it's
was
perfectly fine to
it,
kill.
it was a 50-50 split at the
Yeah.
end of the day, and it's a really tough choice.
Yeah, I think people have theorized that is based on your personality traits.
Yes, yes.
your
I
overall
think
outcome.
Game Theory did an episode on that.
Yeah.
I decided to.
And they were like, hey, do this survey to
Yeah.
see how much of a psycho you
you know,
are.
I did that. I
Did you?
decided to take the test. Hang on.
Can you believe that, audience
I
who are
actually
watching
took a
this?
screenshot.
Yeah, so many people are watching.
Yeah, this is how well I've researched into Jack's thing.
Yeah, so have I. I've researched it so well that I haven't even played the game.
So I
What
did
games do you
do.
prefer, Until Dawn? or
Why do I
Life
get
is
so much
Strange?
fan
Life is
fiction?
Strange.
I prefer Until Dawn, to be honest.
I think for like aesthetic wise, like actually feeling a part of it, I would go for Until Dawn. But if I just wanted a nice game where I feel like my choices actually impact, then yeah, I'd definitely go for Life is
But
Strange.
this was
Because
my
I-
one.
Warren. His
Oh,
name was
Mediator.
Warren.
Yeah.
Warren. Oh yes, I remember now. Warren.
There
Until-
is a ton of fan fiction. I was like Max and
I don't.
and I kept pressing the names.
I don't like that sort of side
And
of
then
things.
it's
It
like-
just ruins it
and
sometimes.
it's like Max and
fan
Chloe
fiction.
Lemon
There's
fan
good
fiction.
fan stuff,
Yeah.
and then there's Steven
Tumblr.
Universe levels of fan stuff.
Oh, Rick and Morty.
No,
Yeah. Well, that's
the
also
Steven Universe
equally
is
as
much
bad.
worse than Rick and Morty.
Until Dawn was like PS4's first breakthrough game though, because of like the sensitivity.
Yeah.
The whole
But why didn't they continue with that? They haven't done much with that sort of thing in.
Who knows?
ages.
They'll probably do it in God of War.
I don't think they did.
Well, we
I
don't
don't
know
think-
because we haven't seen our latest
We're
YouTubers
too
play the next
poor.
episode yet.
I'm too poor.
Anyway, is
Anyway,
that?
I think that is it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching.
Please, before we cut off cameras and everything, be sure to check out Chilling with These Guys podcast. Link in the description. Also, don't forget to check out me, the editor, our good friend Oliver,
Hello.
and of course cameraman Stan,
Come
i.e.
here, Stan.
Alex.
Come on out.
Come
Yeah.
on out, yeah,
Thank you,
cameraman Stan.
No worries.
His actual name, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just called him cameraman Stan for.
He's actually a
for giggles.
fugitive on the run. We just have to change his name.
You're not supposed to say this.
Anyways, thank you
Oh,
very
my bad.
much for joining us on
Thank
this
you.
very special
Cut,
episode.
cut,
Goodbye.
cut.
Goodbye.